aliens. Welcome to Alien History. The channel is Splash Page Comics. I want to welcome everyone here tonight. I'm Mr. White Gloves without my white gloves because I'm not handling my books. That's right, not handling my books tonight. We have got a lot to unpack tonight, and I need to do some shout outs. After this show, I want you to head on over to the Nerdy Collective because they're going to have a group over there, and Robert Galvin is going to be doing a show over there, and he's got a special guest, and you've got to go over there to find out what it is because he probably told me, but I don't remember. Or do I? Tune in and you'll find out. So we got the Cantonese Comic Kid. He's on Sundays, and he didn't do a show last week, but he will probably do a show maybe tomorrow. So, but the Nerdy Collective comes on, like I said, midnight, the witching hour. Discovery Bay, shout out to Discovery Bay, the guy, the hostess with the mostest, Discovery Bay. Thumbs up on Discovery Bay. We got Captain Comics and Smiley Tory, two of my good friends and everything. I want to say hello to those two right there. They have become quite good friends with them. And we got Boston Chris. Go over and check out his channel. He's showing some of the comics that he's picked up, and he's picked up some good comics. I had a sneak preview on some comics that he picked up. So you got to go over and see what he's getting. Yeah. Now, on Thursdays, I have Mystery Comic Thursdays. These are the books that I pick up on Wednesday, and I do my videos on Thursday. I know there's a lot of traffic going on, stuff going on, but I show the old books because I just don't pick up the new books. I pick up the old books. I go back and I pick up the older stuff, and I show them off, and I talk about them, and I have my spinner rack rant. Yeah, you need to go back and see Thursday what I ranted about. Yeah. Go back and check that video out. You will really enjoy that video, what my rant was. All I got to say is, I won. And I'm not going to explain it on here. You just go back and you check it out. Tonight, we have a co-host like we always do. And he is a very uncanny dude. And let me see if I can get these buttons over here and get him in here. You know, I'm button illiterate, so let's see if I can do this. And welcome, Kyle Walker. Hey,
it's true. It's true. It's all true.
It's all true. It's all true. And you need to check out Kyle Walker's channel too because he's been getting some cool stuff on his channel. Ain't that right, Kyle?
Yeah, I did a video a couple of days ago. I think was it 3 days ago. It's a whole video, so yeah, check that video out, please, and subscribe to my channel. Just give me a click on the notifications so that you get my notifications for when I do videos. And the same with this channel here, Splash Page Comics, Mr. White Gloves. Give him a big subscribe and click on his notifications. That way you see his content when he's got a scheduled live stream.
You don't want to miss out. You don't want to miss out on either channel, man. You need to get in and check out what we're doing because we're doing some mind-blowing stuff. And Kyle, are you going to do a video on some, I'm not going to spoil it or anything, on some books that you showed me here off air?
Yes, I will be this week sometime.
All right, you need to check out these books.
Yeah. I went to a
I've never seen them before.
Yeah.
Not going to spoil it. Not going to spoil it. You got to go over to his channel and check these books out because I've never seen them before, and it's a popular book. Let's put it that way. That's all I'm going to say. It's a popular book, and what is it? 3 books or 2 books? 3 books?
I got about 4. I got two books that are not many people have seen before, and then some other cool Marvel stuff. So yeah.
I seen them, and I thought they were really cool and everything. So make sure you put the notification on Kyle's channel to see these books. And,
so I will do a video. I will do a video probably in the next couple of days to showcase those books.
Yeah, so you'll like them. I was surprised when I seen them too. So Kyle, You know, we're going to talk about Roswell, New Mexico.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's some big stuff that happened back in 1947 at Roswell, New Mexico. I'm sure you heard all about it all the way over in New Zealand, hadn't you?
Oh, we did. It's been
Yeah.
a very interesting, fascinating thing. But can we just give one shout out first before we start our conversation?
All right.
Vinny C. Vincenzo.
I was going to get to that. Go ahead.
He's digging my scarf. Thank you.
Yeah, Vincenzo, I hope you're feeling a lot better. Vincenzo had a little medical issue and everything. Well, it wasn't little because it's painful. So I hope he's doing real good. And let me go to the chat and see. This is about the crash, or if cover up is one word. Yeah, we'll be talking about that. We sure will. This is my place for answers. Your answer. Well, Kyle's got all the answers. Anyway, Kyle's got all the answers. He's got all the answers. He's in tune. See, getting off the subject just a little, Kyle.
Yo.
Do y'all have do you call it a tribe that you're in? Is it a tribe?
Yes.
Does your tribe have some kind of gathering together where they? Now, I don't want to be, insensitive what I'm fixing to say, but do they beat drums or play something in a rhythm where they get into a trance? Does your tribe do that? Something like a constant rhythm to meditate or something like that?
We do a porphyry. We call people in and we sit down and we do a karakia, which is just song, if that's what you mean. We've got a bit of song, and basically a prayer in Māori. So yeah.
Well, we're going to be talking about this later on. So in another episode about the trances that the mind gets into and the hertz of the rhythm of the drum or the pounding on sticks or something like that. A constant rhythm changes the wavelength of the human brain to go into the near sleep mode, to where you're still awake, but you're meditating.
We do the haka. We do a haka. That's a war dance, and you go into a sort of a trance doing that. Let your inner warrior come out, and you're going to kill your enemy. That's what what I mean. We're not being friendly.
I wasn't talking about killing. I was just like talking about in a trance and talking to the
but that class that is a bit of a trance, And actually, we've got our family reunion at the end of this year, and we're going to be making our own haka for my whānau, my family, the Waka family. So that's going to be cool. I'm sorry about the subject.
We got James here. Hello, I'm from New Mexico and go to Roswell often. Anyone want a tour from a native? Let me know if you're coming down to New Mexico. I tell you what, I'm not too far from New Mexico, James. Not too far at all. Not too far at all. And I've been to Roswell many a times, and you're going to see some exclusive footage of the actual crash site. So
nice.
Just hang in there. And Vincenzo said, I'm starting to feel better. Thank you. And he's thanking James right there. So, all right, let's get into, we're going to add this to the stream. You're going to be hearing right now the 1947 radio broadcast when they found the spaceship, and they released the radio released the radio broadcast live. So let's check this out.
A bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying...
All right, hang on. Let's start. There we go. Here we go.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection.
All right. That tells us right there that the Air Force released a press release saying that a flying saucer was found. at Roswell, New Mexico. So let's go on.
This afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazil was the man who discovered the saucer. Colonel William Blanchard of the Roswell Air Base refuses to give details of what the flying disc looks like. In Fort Worth, Texas, where the object was first sent, Brigadier General Roger Ramey says that it is being shipped by air to the AAF Research Center at Wright Field, Ohio. A few moments ago, I talked to officials at Wright Field, and they declared that they expect the so-called flying saucer to be delivered there, but that it hasn't arrived as yet. In the meantime, General Ramey describes the object as being of flimsy construction, almost like a box kite. He says that it was so battered that he was unable to determine whether it had a disc form, and he does not indicate its size. Ramey says that so far as can be determined, no one saw the object in the air, and he describes it as being made of some sort of tinfoil. Other Army officials say that further information indicates that the object had a diameter of about 20 to 25 feet, and that nothing in the apparent construction indicated any capacity for speed, and that there was no evidence of a power plant. The disc also appeared too flimsy to carry a man.
Okay, there we have it right there. Too flimsy to carry a man. So that was the radio broadcast back on, I think it was July 8th, 1947, and the crash happened July 4th or 5th in 1947. So what happened? What do you think? What's your theory, Kyle? What do you think happened that night?
I think they come across something. They found something that they weren't supposed to. And I think it was some grey eyes. That's what they came across.
Some grays.
So,
some grays.
Yep, some grays. Yep. That's
we got James. James sat here and said, my dad worked at and retired from Kirkland Air Force Base, and he said they all knew about what happened but never gave details. He was either very low or very afraid to say anything. Yeah, there's been lots of stuff. You know, over the years, a lot of stuff has leaked out, government reports, and they always keep you guessing. So, you know, the report of July 4th, 1947, also what the rancher had said that there was lights in the sky, and William Brazel he lived down the road from the actual one of the crash sites, and we'll get into the other crash sites here a little bit later. And he had saw the lights in the sky, but he didn't think much about it. Well, a couple of days later, he was riding his horse because it's a big ranch, and I've been out there. It's a big ranch, and he was rounding his cattle up, and he's seeing debris scattered for a long ways out there in the middle of nowhere. If you haven't been out there, it's like a huge desert, desert, you know. And, you know, can you imagine Kyle riding up on that and seeing debris just scattered for, I think it was 300 or 400 feet, just in a long. I mean, crazy. What would be your first thought on that, riding up and seeing something like that?
Oh, wow. I'd like to go and investigate even more at the expense of my own.
Would you be afraid?
No, I'd be fascinated.
So you would step out of your comfort zone and go over and see what's going on.
Yeah, maybe get assimilated into the Borg. I wouldn't know, but I would still go and look.
boy, you like them Borg. I tell you what, they're going to come get you one of these days. So a day later, he reported to the sheriff because he didn't think much of it. He rode over and seen it, and there's reports that he took some of the material and hid it under a bush. You know, and why would he do that? I mean, if it's just something that's nothing, why would he hide it?
Yeah.
It's probably something.
There's something in it. Yeah, absolutely.
Something strange or something he had never seen. Of course, it says 1947.
Yeah.
But anyway, a day later, he reported to the sheriff. Well, the sheriff ended up reporting it to Walker Air Force Base.
Right.
And here is Rob Painless. We need to welcome Rob Painless. He's one of my buddies right here.
Is it? Yep.
Yeah.
How are you,
How
Rob?
are you? So, Rob, to interrupt real quickly, Rob Painless has a show, and he goes on from live from time to time, and he's a prepper, and he shows all this stuff when he goes camping and outside, and does all this stuff for prepping. If you want to know something about prepping, go over there on Rob's show. Hey, Rob, I appreciate you showing up live tonight in the chat.
That's pretty cool.
But getting back to it, the sheriff reported it to the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the Air Force, they had other reports of other crash sites and stuff happening, because they say there was six sites, but there was a couple of skip sites. You know what skip sites are? It's where they hit and they skipped off and they went for another 35 miles and ended up, the ship ended up crashing, because apparently they were moving quite fast. So there was other skip sites out there, and they had other reports from the Air Force who were going after these skip sites. So what the Air Force did is they went out there and they sealed everything off when apparently they went out there and they found out there was something there.
Okay.
There was reports of everything sealed off and nobody could get out there. Of course, there wasn't very many people out there. I mean, this is about 75 miles from Roswell, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere. I mean, you drive from Roswell all the way out there and take that highway back to the west towards Corona.
Yeah.
I know everybody's thinking the other Corona, but there's a town out there. But it's about 35 miles from Corona. It's in between Corona and the main highway. And then you go back south, and it's like another 4 or 5 miles. Nothing out there. So the Air Force didn't have much problems, sealing this area off.
Yeah. They were quickly in there and shutting up shop, basically.
Yeah. When they ended up finding something, they sealed it all off. It was like,
boom.
There,
Cover it up. We can do this real easy, guys.
So the reports that was said that when they come upon, there was a debris field about 2 to 3 to 400 feet, something like that, of all the wreckage, and then the UFO was crashed. And there's been reports that it was either 25 to 50 feet in diameter across.
Okay.
And it was there. Well, when I was there, you could see where they cut a road. They brought in some heavy equipment, is what they did. And there have been reports by interviews that leaving Roswell, there was heavy equipment that was brought out there, bulldozers and front end loaders and stuff like that, and empty trailers and stuff. So that kind of leads you to think something's out there pretty big.
Yeah, has to be.
Yeah. So, wouldn't you like to be one of the GIs on the ground that was out there when all this is going on?
Oh, absolutely, I would. It would be pretty cool.
Would you pick some of them and put in your pocket?
Probably die. Probably become like the Incredible Hulk and get ready.
Get irradiated. Be irradiated all up. Yeah, we just see Kyle Walker's eyes glowing green.
I'd go brown. I'd be the big brown Hulk.
I don't know. They may call you Big Brown something else. I don't know. I'd want to go in green or red or purple or something, not brown. But anyway, back to what I was saying. They had cut a road to the sides, and the reports was saying that there was 4 aliens found. When they hit, they said that the aliens flew out the front of the craft because it was all damaged, and 3 were found there at the crash site. And when I was at the crash site, the people I had talked to there, the story was said that they were found about 100 to 125 yards forward of the crash site.
Right.
And they said 1 was still up walking around.
Uh-huh.
And this is, a day later.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you could sit there and you could see the crash site where they cut a road and come up through there. And they ended up moving a lot of dirt, and they loaded these things on the truck, in the flatbed truck. And they probably covered it all up and took the dead aliens that they found. Because on the way in, as we were going in there, they were saying this is the area where they found the 3 bodies. This one was the first body. Over here was the second body, and then the third body. Then the 4th body was found at the crash site, still alive. Up moving around, which he's probably going, what the heck just happened?
Yeah.
They weren't wearing their seatbelts. So they weren't wearing the seatbelts. So anyway, they got them all loaded up on the crash site. So let's look at this crash site. Let's add this to the stream and look at this right quick. Okay, let me go through this a little bit at a time. This is the actual crash site. The outcropping you see the people standing on top of.
Yep.
Right there. That is where, under the bottom, all that loose dirt is where the alien spacecraft was under that. It was wedged under that. And that outcropping right there is the only outcropping like that from what I can see from miles and miles around.
Right.
So that right there is part of the actual 1947 crash site that they said that the aliens were found.
Right.
So as we pan over to the right, you can see a mound of dirt, and then you can see another outcropping right there where the other part of the ship had broke off and wedged underneath there. And then I don't know if it'll go all the way back to the right. No, it won't go back that far. But there is a road cut down that goes down there in the bottom. And this right here is a little sinkhole. There's an outline of it right there that you can see the whole rounded part where part of it crashed. And right there where that guy with the white shirt is walking, you can see right there where another part of it had come in. And then, like I said, this is the actual crash site. If you go out there used to be the Bogle Ranch. It's not the Bogle Ranch no more.
Okay.
So this is this is a zoom out to show a bigger area of it.
Okay.
So let's see. And we got some people out there taking a look at it. And the cars in the top, that road goes around all the way around to which way it's panning. And it comes into the bottom.
Yep.
And a lot of people are probably asking, what's all those stones up there?
Yeah.
Those stones were put there when I think it was the Discovery Channel or the Sci-Fi Channel, no, it was the History Channel went out there, or Discovery Channel went out there. And they erected a monument there, and I got a picture of the plaque that's on the ground. It's back in the 90s, and they did a lot of testing, and they put it up as a marker. So that's basically what that right there is. That's standing up there. So, and the bodies were found back behind. You'll see that person right there, or that monument, all those stones, and that guy in the white shirt up with all the stones.
Yep.
That right there, the bodies were thrown behind that.
Okay.
And that tree you see in between the guy with the stones and the guy all the way to the left, almost center, there's a tree way back there. That's the entrance to get into that. There's a road back there.
Oh, okay.
So that's basically the actual crash site. And the weird part about it, when I was out there and taking video,
Yeah.
my camera started acting up.
It started playing up. Yeah.
Yeah, and mine wasn't the only one that was doing it. It was a lot of people's cameras. They had a guy out there for radiation detector and everything, and he was detecting low levels of radiation only back in that one area. And I noticed that I had to change cameras, and I changed cameras, and it started working, and it started acting up after a while I was out there. And while I was out there, it gave me a strange, like, electric field. You know how you kind of
magnetic field.
Yeah, you know how you kind of get that taste of metallic in your mouth or something like that, or like that strange taste.
That could be COVID. No, I'm joking.
That was way back. This is 2018, but it's the first time this has been opened up to the public in 71 years.
Yep. I wonder why. There must have been high radiation there for a while, and now the levels are now safe. You see.
Yeah.
To go there.
Like I said, this has been closed down for a long time. I mean, can you imagine the military going out there and picking up all the stuff and I mean, they had to go out there with tweezers and pick up all the stuff.
They would have,
to make sure they got everything.
And they would have had to have had the right sort of gear before they went in and did it too, because you just don't know what alien parasites would have been on that stuff too. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So that was a live picture of the actual crash site out there. Now, where was it taken? Where was the craft taken? I mean, you have something that big, and probably two pieces, or then probably another truck of small pieces that they picked up.
Yeah.
It was taken to Walker Airfield there in Roswell.
Yep.
And then the bodies were taken there also.
Yep.
You have three aliens that weren't alive, and you had one that was. So it's kind of strange how they would transport him back to Walker Airfield.
Yeah.
So when they got to Walker, that's where the famous alien autopsy happened, in a hangar.
Yep. Seen those photos. What was the hangar called?
It was just a hangar. It was a number I can't remember, but the hangar is still there.
Was that hangar 18 or something? Or 17? I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but that hangar is still there. On the airfield. The airfield is closed now. It's been closed for years. But there's a room in there where report says you walk into the big doors that open, and you go in, and I think you turn to the left. There's a huge room back over on the front side that they said was set up a temporary autopsy. And then the other trucks were parked in the hangar, and this hangar's huge. I mean, it's pretty.
I remember seeing those photos of that autopsy in the Unexplained magazines that they used to be able to get. The Unexplained.
Yeah, there was even we got Vincenzo Hangar 58, I think. Oh yeah, 18.
You know how I know it's 18? Because Megadeth wrote a song called Hangar 18. Back in the 80s. That's where it rang in my head,
Yeah. Well, they did the autopsy. Now, there was more likely there was footage taken of the autopsy.
Yeah.
Now, whether that came out later, I mean, there's been videos of it. They're saying that they're not real, and they're real. And, I think the videos are still kept somewhere, and I just don't think that they could have got a hold of those videos and put them out. Those are somewhere deep in Area 51, archives, and we just haven't got to them. And we got Fuchsia. Hello there, Fuchsia.
Hello, kia ora there, Fuchsia.
But yeah, they did the alien autopsy, and Then everything was packed up and put on I think it was a B-52, and it was flown to Fort Worth Airfield, and that is the where we get into the interview. But let's take a look at this right here, because this is what press release that was released. I think it was July 8th, right here. Let me
Yep. I was just reading that
stop
before.
this right here. Let's stop this right here.
There it is.
Yeah. Let's see if I can, how to make this. No, that ain't the one to make it big. There it is.
There it is.
This is the press release that you can still hear. Everybody can still hear me out there, right?
Yep.
Okay. This was the press release that was, I think it's July 8th, 1947. RAAF captures flying, it should say saucer, on ranch in Roswell. Rancher located, and anyway, they go into detail to talk about, the Air Force says it was a flying saucer. Well, when they got to the airfield there at Fort Worth, they had to come up with another plan. They were just pretty ticked off that was released by the Air Force. So what they did is they come up with this Mylar balloon. This is the guy that released the news, and the papers took it up. Is this guy right here? And the general sat there and said, "Well, we got to make up something else." So they had the original guy said, "You're going to go out there and you're going to make up something, because we don't want everybody to know this is an alien spacecraft." So he poses with pictures there with the general right there. And see that piece of paper right there?
Yeah.
That's what the general had in his hand. And, you would think that would probably be notes of what he's going to say and such like that about, the Mylar and stuff like that, the Mylar balloon, because they blamed it on a weather balloon and stuff like that. Well, with technology today, you can blow this up, and you can look at some of the stuff at what it says, and they have taken, great pains and efforts to blow this up in the old pictures, and they can get to the writing that we see right here. It says urgent, HQAAF, Washington, 8th July 1947, Vandenberg, from headquarters, 8th Air Force, Army Air Force. Subject Roswell. Said now this is kind of, they took these and they scanned the document, and they did a computer program on it, and it says acknowledges that a disc is next new find west of Corona. That's supposed to say Corona. At location was a wreck near operation at the ranch, and the victims of the wreck you forward to the team at Fort Worth, Texas. So that right there, what's that telling us?
Yeah, it tells us. Yeah, tells you that they're lying.
Yeah, this is what he's holding in his hand. And he's holding this in his hand, and they're saying they got the wreck and the victims of the wreck. Well, if there was a wreck of a flying saucer, who would be the victims?
Yeah, that's right.
They'd be little green men or the Greys.
Greys. I always believe in the Greys. I have always thought of that theory.
Yeah, I think the Greys were the ones that were involved in this.
Yeah.
So we can go just a little bit further down and see what they pulled out of this. Right here, it says aviators in the disc, they will ship for A1 5th Army AMU, or that should be probably Army Air Force, by B-29 or C-47 to the Wright Air Force Base. That's from Wright Air Force Base at Roswell. Assure that CIC team says that the state, meaning of story and think or said late today, next sent out per maybe PR of weather balloon. So what they're trying to do, they're saying, all right, this is what it was, but we need you to PR, press release of weather balloon would take or fair or WO or work.
Right.
Like some of the words back there that if photos used and land something cruise. So basically what they're saying, this is what it was, but we want you to do the PR work and put this out there to falsify what really happened, to kind of cover it up.
Yep.
So, and this right here was released, later on. This was March 22nd, 1950, that was released. And it says, an interview for the Air Force stated that 3 so-called flying saucers had been removed in New Mexico. They were described as being circular in shape and were raised centers approximately 50 feet in diameter. Each one was occupied by 3 bodies of human shape, but only 3 feet tall, dressed in metallic cloth of a very fine texture. Each body was bandaged in a manner similar to the blackout suits used in the speed flyers and the pilots. Let me see if I got another close-up of this. Maybe it's a little bit closer here. Yeah, right there.
There you go.
It says, according to they blacked it out, redacted it. Info of the saucer were found in New Mexico due to the fact that the government has a very high-powered radar setup in the area, and it is believed that the radar interference with the controlling mechanism of the saucers. No further evaluation was attempted by Odetta concerning the something. I can't read that. Concerning the little things in the way. So what they're saying, there had been reports that there was a lightning storm that night, that the lightning might have struck. Well, what the Air Force has come up with is their very powerful radar, which White Sands is not too far from there. Well, I guess it is kind of far from there, but radar, goes a long ways.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So that's kind of what interfered with the spacecrafts, which they're saying there's more than one. So that the radar kind of messed up and jammed it, and kind of took it from there,
Right. Yep.
So that's kind of weird right there.
It is a wee bit.
So I tell you what, Kyle, I got to take a break for a second, but what I want you to do is, can you explain briefly to the audience what your theory behind the after the crash site, about what you think exactly happened, and I'll be back in just 1 second.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
So,
Too much coffee.
So I just believe that a saucer went down. The U.S. Army government found it, took it away. They found one survivor out of the crash site, and probably did experiments on it. Who knows? I believe they were greys, and now it's a big cover. It's been a cover up since 1947. So that's my view on it. I'm just going with what Splash said, but I've always thought that. That was quick. That was quick. Here he goes.
Take long when you're old.
Yeah. You were quick.
I tried. So where were we?
I just was doing a quick brief on what I thought.
Okay.
I just said that a saucer went down. U.S. government were involved in it. Found it. One of the survivors they took away and did investigations, experiments on that survivor. of the crash. I believe that Earl Grey's, the government quickly, or the army quickly covered it up to make a plausible story about a balloon, so people weren't suspicious of it.
Yeah,
so as quick as possible,
James is right. Also, he's sitting there and said to Albuquerque, that would be a plausible. Maybe one was taken to Albuquerque if there were multiple. Maybe the first one was taken to Fort Worth, and the other ones later on. They said, "Well, we can take these to Albuquerque by way of, I think Area 51. Maybe they eventually ended up at.
Yeah,
that's out there in the Nevada desert.
Yeah, Nevada. That's right. That's too. Yep.
There's a guy in the 80s that they interviewed that come forward and said that he worked out there at Area 51 by the name of Bob Lazar.
Right.
And he had made the point where he was talking that he worked at a facility that was an underground facility on Area 51 that was called S4.
Okay.
And S4 was they had everything out there at Area 51 is compartmentalized. One place don't talk to another place. They're kept away from each other. So that way, one thing that goes on one place, the other people don't know what goes on just where they're working.
Does the president know? Does he get told this sort of stuff, or is he out of the loop? Do you think when it comes to this?
There have been presidents that sit there and say they believe, but they won't come through with any actual knowledge or anything like that to support. I think it was. I'm not exactly sure if it was Clinton or something that said that he was going to do an investigation, but it never turned up anything. So it was kind of like
it fizzled out. Yeah. I've just always been curious by that, if they're told about what goes on in these places and they just can't because they've got.
Well, the Freedom of Information Act, in so many years you request this information, there's been more and more come out about the Roswell crash. And it's funny that it just makes it more mysterious. And it doesn't really tell the whole story. It tells bits and pieces.
You got to ask a question about stealth technology. How did those planes get their technology? Where did that come from?
I think when this is all ended up in Area 51 and they started, that's what Bob Lazar said. He said there was multiple spacecraft that was kept there, and they were backward engineering this stuff. So if they're from outer space, they got some kind of stealth or something like that, because a flying saucer is shaped stealthy because the radar, it doesn't have a square spot to bounce back. It deflects it somewhere else. Yeah. So you're looking at the shape, just what we see in the skies and the reporting being stealthy.
Like a mirror, magician's mirror trick.
Yeah. If you get a square space, the radar is going to hit here and go back. Yeah. Now, if you got it like here, it's going to sit there. It'll bounce off in a different direction.
And you can't see it.
They got stuff now that can absorb that radar, and it's like a sponge. It just keeps it from bouncing back and absorbs it in there.
Yeah.
The paint, the texture, maybe it's got holes, octangle holes in the skin or something that when it hits, it bounces around them holes, and there's all sorts of things in stealth. And they've had this with the old Blackbirds and stuff like that, and the stealth technology come out now. I mean, we're looking, Kyle, from backward engineering these saucers. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could come about.
Yeah.
What do you think about microchips?
Oh yeah, nano technology. Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, we've jumped ahead so far in the last 50 years. That big jump. since the crash that is just amazing that we stayed still for a long time. And all of a sudden, after the Roswell crash and the moon landing, we just boom.
Yeah, technology has just gone boom real fast. And a good example of that is the vaccine.
Yeah.
This is the fastest. Pfizer was the fastest vaccine to be made. To be honest, though, we are still doing the trial, but we had to roll it out on the whole world population, or else the world was going to be in a bit of trouble. But they're using technology which is not your DNA, like people it's misinformation, but it's new technology they're using. So like the nanoprobe sort of stuff. They're making fake cells that trick our body. So it's all connected, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all connected. Yeah.
Well, the microprocessor, I think, come out of this, and also the what do you call the light through the wires? Fiber optic.
Right. Yeah.
Because there'd been reports that that there was strange wiring and stuff that wasn't really wiring. Well, that would be fiber optics, light.
That's right, like fiber. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're still in the dark ages when it comes to fiber here. We don't have it.
We don't have fiber optic here. We have big, huge lines. They just won't tie this town into it.
Yeah, but we're getting it. Well, apparently, we're getting it. So
yeah. But there's been a lot of stuff they think that come out of this, and Bob Lazar said he was
that's a plausible thing. Fiber being of alien origin.
Oh, it's lightweight, fast.
Yeah, it makes sense. And like a lot of the stuff that we use now on our phones and that technology, it's just too fast and too good.
Look in the let's say 45, 44. We did have computers in. They were huge, and they were used by a lot of them were used by the British to decode transmissions and everything from the Germans and the Japanese.
Oh, absolutely. And, what were they? What was it called? I've forgotten. I've gone blank on that. But
there was a big, huge house over there in England that they had all these people in there, and they were MI6 or something like that, and they were decoders. And these in the United States went over there and they helped them, the British and the Americans, put this big huge computer well, look at the jump from there. Let's say 45 all the way up to the 60s. I mean, after the crash, then they took some time to backwards engineer this stuff. Then boom, all of a sudden stuff started happening in the 70s and the 80s. Then we start getting our computers out, because what the military will do, they will not release this new technology until they bust it and they put it in their application and they start using it. Then when they find something better, they take that out, and then the better goes into effect, and the old stuff sits there for a while. Then they put it out in the public. They sell it out to these companies, and these companies take this technology and release it in computers. And I remember not too long ago the fly-by-wire. Remember all the fly-by-wire stuff?
Yeah.
In the airplanes. I mean, everything. Yeah. The computer controlled the folds and everything in the wings. Yeah. And, a whole part of the not just the wings moved, but the skin of the plane moved and stuff like that. Mm. That technology came out when it got old or kind of outdated. That fly-by-wire stuff, we started seeing the drones come out.
That's right.
To where that fly-by-wire, you can regulate the motors and the fan blades and stuff like that. When that got tossed aside, they took that technology and said, well, the public's not going to be able to fly a jet fighter around our airplanes, so let's use some of that technology in a different direction and start putting out drones and stuff.
Yeah. So, hello, Sanimation.
Good morning. Good morning. It is early where she's at. Real early.
Yeah. Well, what time are we talking?
Oh, probably 5 o'clock.
5 a.m. 5 a.m. Sunday, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost 5 p.m. Sunday here. So you're 12
Right.
hours behind me.
So this technology and everything has been passed down to us just now, like they say that during the moon landing they come up with, or the Apollo astronauts, they come up with the microwave, and years later in the 70s they come out with a microwave oven,
Yeah.
cooking stuff
Yeah.
internally out and everything with microwaves. I remember when I was little, I was always told when the first microwave came out, don't stand in front of that door.
No.
Because you'll get irradiated with microwaves.
Yeah.
And to this day, I still don't stand in front of the door of a microwave.
They're a lot better now. They are a lot better now, the microwaves. So
well, I was always told you stand in front of that door, you won't be able to have kids. So I didn't want those microwaves doing something down there that I didn't know what they were going to do. That's what I was always told. Don't stand in front. I was always told, don't sit too close to that TV too, because it puts out the type of radiation, the tube type.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we set 3 foot from the TV. No, you got to, it puts out. And then the television, in the 50s, the TV started coming in the 40s, and they started getting better and better. So there's a lot of things that wrap around that time in 47 and all the way to the 60s to where we made a big jump. And it's kind of curious that 47, then 63, we start going to the moon. And in the 60s, we have the Mercury. Then we have satellites, we got, stuff like that happen.
That's right.
I mean, we go from nothing to something.
And then we go to Mars. Well, we've had probes to Mars and can now receive messages across the other side of the universe, the black holes, investigating that sort of stuff. It's all connected. It's all relative to our subject.
It's 6 a.m. there, getting ready for work.
Yeah, I know.
This is my podcast right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, it's good that you join us to listen to us going on about alien stuff.
Yeah, you need to go over and highlight Sanimation and put her up there, and go to her channel and check her out. She does some good stuff and everything. You really enjoy her show. She's a real nice lady, and she does a great job too. Great job.
Yeah.
But, I think it's getting ready for the next technological advance. I think if we do go back to the moon, like they said, in 10 years.
You know what? Yeah. Sorry.
We will go back to the moon. There will be another release of technology into the world that's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
They're going to say, all right, well, we got this new technology now. Let's release this old technology and let the public have it. And then we're going to have this other technology that we're going to use, and we're going to keep it secret for a while. Of course, there's even a theory that we have a moon base on the other side of the moon, which is ours, and we've been zipping across the sky for a long time. A lot of these UFOs are our stuff.
Yeah. I think that the next technology that we're going to see is breaking down ourselves like on a teleport and transferring ourselves to another point and reforming ourselves back into normal. So like, on Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think that's the next teleportation.
Well, I know that you talk about the cyborgs a lot. There is a technology now that tattoos a circuit board to your arm or somewhere on your arm where you can pull up and it'll operate your telephone. It will operate your computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all that's on your arm. And plus, they even got a guy that had put an implant in to where he can think and he can operate his computer from him thinking.
Yeah.
And that's out there now. It's in the early stages, but I mean, they got one that you can implant something under your skin and your door will unlock, your alarm will go off, or you can scan it over something, a barcode scanner, and it will do certain things.
Right.
But
that
technology is out there right now.
Well, fake eyes. If you've lost your eye, you can get a wee
Sort of
fake
like
eye with a nano probe in it.
So like Thor put that eye in there.
Yeah, like triggers a reaction to your brain so it can see through it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a firm believer of teleportation as the next step.
Yeah.
And
Well, Super Soldier. I mean, they've got stuff that fiber optics over a woven in a uniform that when you walk in front of a tree, it projects on the fiber optic that the tree's in front of you, like a camera, and you're standing there in a tree, and it's like a green screen, but or the overlay, where it overlays you, and you can sit there in front of a tree and you can't see it.
Yeah,
because it's taking a picture from the back of the tree and putting it on the front. I mean, that's getting close to, tricking yourself into being invisible.
So, the X-Files dabbled a wee bit into what we were talking about, some of their storylines. I just thought that it got a bit too much, the X-Files did, over the course of that TV show. But some of that was quite interesting, what they were trying to get into.
They got deep into some stuff, man. Wow, it got real. I mean, I used to watch the X-Files all the time. It got weird, man, and it always left you hanging.
It did, but with stuff like the bees and all that, there was quite interesting. I found that, and the smoking guy. It was all quite interesting.
Yeah.
I felt it just went too long and it got a bit silly, and they never closed their threads up.
Mulder was the man, right? Or was it Scully?
Yeah.
Mulder was the man.
Mulder.
Okay. His son got abducted by aliens.
His sister.
In that series. Or was his sister? Yeah. And that's the reason he was out this whole series trying to prove and get back to it so he could get his sister back. And I know they come back and made another series there for a while, but I never got to watch it. Did he end up finding his sister?
He ended up, it got silly after a while. He ended up getting abducted by the aliens himself and got written out of the series.
Yeah.
And many years later, they made another TV show where he was back.
Okay. I didn't know if it ever tied into his sister that got abducted, and he finally got her back in the end. But I know when they remade those, it was the series was kind of good where it started, then it kind of like Then the movie was so. It was never back to the original series.
They made two movies. They made two movies, but both movies didn't really. I felt they didn't answer much, and I can't remember. It's been so long as well. I liked the first couple of seasons because they were just paranormal alien style sort of episodes where they'd investigate a case where it was someone with alien origins or supernatural origins, and they were one-off stories.
Yeah,
was when it was good.
Yeah, they should have. When the series ended, they should have answered a lot of questions there because the magic was happening then, and it was a real popular series. And a lot of people say, "Well, quit on a high note." Well, you need to end it, on a high note because the magic was there at that time, and then they kind of ended it and brought it back, and then brought it back in the movies and stuff. Well, the magic was already gone. You already waited a long time, and a lot of the fans, you had some of the true diehard fans come back and watch it, but a lot of the fans that were like, I enjoy it, but I'm not going to take the time to go back and get invested in just that. A little series or a movie, they should have kept on and ended it right, or passed the torch down to somebody else that leave the door open for years later to start another series.
That's right. Now I've got a question for you. Who's your greatest alien character in movie or comic form of alien origins?
I would have to say the Alien.
Alien.
I've watched all the Alien.
Yeah, the Xenomorph.
Yeah, they had here recently, and this. Yes, recently the movie that I'd seen here on TV that come out was Alien Covenant. They kind of put them in a little series. They were kind of out of order when they come out, but Covenant was a precursor to when they landed on that planet and
Yeah.
they found all those little bombs and stuff, and and it came later. I like the Alien Covenant. It was pretty good.
My favorite alien, this is a bit left field, but I suppose he's an alien, is Darth Vader.
Yeah, I could see that. I really didn't think about,
Darth Vader. I just think he's cool.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
he's cool. He's definitely cool. Cool. I think that in the other Star Wars movie, the Ren, the one with the little stripes on his helmet.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the way he looked. I mean, just, I don't know. I just think that part of it sucked. They could have had somebody that had a more characterized face or a cooler.
I mean, the greatest alien hero, in my opinion, is
Doctor Who.
The Doctor. The Doctor is the Doctor, and he's right behind me. Oh,
yeah.
And my fingers fell down, but he's over there. The Doctor. Oh, yep.
We're gonna laugh about that later because Kyle's fingers are always falling down.
My fingers just fell down.
Well, I tell you what, guys, that right there is the wrap up from the Roswell incident, and as you can see, it carried on to a bunch of different avenues, and we're going to be continuing this series on alien history. And so hit the notifications and make sure you come back next week when I'm not going to tell you what it's all going to be about, but we're going to have a new exciting topic on aliens.
And I like this topic.
Yeah, it's going to be a good topic. I'm going to have to do a lot of research and stuff on this.
I'm very fascinated by this topic.
And I think a lot of people are going to love this too because
I think we'll do a longer show. I think we'll do a longer show for this one too.
It depends on how much information. I mean, there's a lot out there. I mean, we could probably go 3 hours on this next topic, but it's pretty cool. So I want to thank everyone for showing. Hit those notifications, give a comment in the bottom, and subscribe. Head over to Kyle's channel. He's got some comics that he's going to show that y'all are really going to like. Really going to like.
Yep, absolutely. I'm going to be doing a video probably in the next couple of days. I went to a swap meet, and there was quite a few people there. It was actually, and I found some comic books there. So I will do a video and I will show you those. And I'm on the road to 1,000. So I've been stuck in the 900. So we need to get.
You want to talk about subs? I'm at 650. I was up to 652. Then I'll get two subs. Then boom, 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 back down. Then I get two more. Then one more. Then one less. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if people are subbing to me, then unsubbing, or it's YouTube taking it away, or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. But I'm trying to get up there to 1,000. I tell you why. It's because I can go live on my phone and stuff like that when I go to these Comic Cons. I can go out there and go live and not pre-record a lot of this stuff. And I want to be able to where I can go live on my phone and show y'all when the cons start the stuff backstage, because I get these passes where I can go backstage and I just pretty much have almost the run of the whole con. I get there a day or two before and I'm able to walk in and watch the setup and I meet people backstage and stuff that people have to wait in line for, that I get into. I can interview and stuff like that. But since YouTube made it where you got to get over 1,000 subs before you can start doing that, so
let's get both of us over 1,000 so we get monetized and stuff like that.
Well, I tell you, if I get over 1,000, I'm not going to ask for no money. I'm not, and if I'm not going to monetize, but if YouTube monetize me, they're the going to be the ones putting the commercials on. I ain't.
Hello, Backshot. We've got Backshot.
Oh, we got Chris
in the chat.
What's he got? He's got says, "Oh, I'll put it up there. Show. My wife's friend is actually in Roswell right now." Ooh. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. We got Vincenzo. "I really like X-Files. I want to believe movie through Bill Connolly as the priest was superb." Cool.
Yeah, he was actually. I do remember. Did he die? He may have. I can't remember, but yeah, he was really great.
Yeah. So what y'all need to do is the Nerdy Collective is coming up in about 1 hour. So y'all need to head on over there to Robert Galvin's channel and see who his guest is and such. And we're going to pass it over to him in an hour. And check out Kyle Walker. Hit the notifications on both our channels and sub us up. Spread the word. Because we want this alien history stuff to blow up because it's an interesting topic. And people, the more you talk about it, the more interesting it gets.
And if anybody wants to ever contact any of us and get into a call with us and talk about comics, mostly comic books, hit us up on Instagram. We're both on Instagram. So I think my name is the Uncanny _ Kyle Walker on Instagram. And what are you, Mr. White Glove, say, or Splash Page?
Just Splash Page Comics, one word. One word.
Okay.
So with that, we're going to wrap up, and y'all hit that. We've already said that a number of times. Check me out on Thursdays. We'll see y'all later.
See you later. Bye. Ka kite anō.
There you go.